Hey everybody, Rob Ferretti, and today's video is sponsored by GetRoman.com. You may remember them because last time I was talking about your penises. Statistically, most of my audience is male, and statistically, 51% of you are having problems in that department. And I've got a solution today. If you check out GetRoman.com, there's an easy path to you correcting that problem. And is it really a problem? Yes. I know you don't want to go to a doctor because it's a little uncomfortable going to a doctor and talking about that. But with their online physicians, you can go on and it's very easy to go through the process, select the right medication that's right for you, and solve that problem, which doesn't only bother you in the bedroom. It's usually an indicator of something larger lingering, and that's something you really want to pay attention to early on. Guys, go online and get checked by the doctor. Erectile dysfunction is a problem that guys don't tackle, but with Roman, it's really easy. So do yourself a favor this holiday season and let's take care of it. Start the year off right. Check out GetRoman.com/SSR or click the link in the description box below. That's GetRoman.com/SSR for your free online visit. Hey everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and I am going to tell you why the MP4-12C Mclaren is the last car you should ever buy. Actually, don't buy it. So you shouldn't buy that car. And here's why. Now, I've had two Mclaren MP4-12Cs, and the first one I bought I just made probably the dumbest purchase of my life. And I bought it from the dealer, they sold it to me, and the dealer is happy to burn you. They sold it to me at list. And I was like, oh cool, they didn't tell me they were trading for $30,000 or $40,000 under list. I was like, why would this brand new car be selling so far under sticker? It looks like a great car. The reviews seem to be very positive about the performance. And, oh, they've got one for sale. First sign, if a dealership calls you and offers a car for sale, it's probably not worth it. It's just one of those things. If they're cold calling you to say, hey, you want a McLaren? You should, or whatever car, insert any car there, you should probably run the other direction. Well, sure enough, within 3 or 4 months, the car was worth nothing. And we bought it new, put a couple thousand miles on it. I'd say like 3,500 or 4,000 miles on it. That's 6 months after we got it. Get a call from the dealer again. Hey, you got the new 2013 Spiders. Do you want one? It's like, what did he give me for mine? And I knew at this point in time, I knew I overpaid on the other car and that it depreciated pretty heavily. We could give you 4,000 miles. We can give you a 170. I'm like, I just paid you $283. So you're telling me you want me to take a $110,000 depreciation hit in 6 months and 4,000 miles on this car, and you're actually calling to try to sell me another one? No. And that didn't go over well. But sure enough, that car, I'll just go through the cycle. Here are the problems that we had with that car. One, the navigation screen went bad. They have a lot of electrical issues, especially the early Mclaren 12Cs. And electrical issues are the last thing you want to have, especially out of warranty, because they're super expensive to track down and fix. But we had that. The navigation screen went bad. Brought it into the dealership. Oh yeah, we discontinued that screen. We can give you the screen now that's $650. You just pay for the screen, and we'll cover the labor. I'm like, no, the car's under warranty. Give me the new screen or find me an old screen. I don't need an upgraded screen. I don't care. Give me a working version of what I had in there. Sure enough, they gave me the new one and didn't charge me. My logic was too much to argue with. Next thing you know, the battery, we sent it out to California at our rental shop out in California, and the battery was slowly draining itself to death. And the McLarens, before they die, the battery dies, it lowers the window. When you open the door, first thing it does is lower the window a little bit so it doesn't flex, because it forms a good seal, like fits up in the groove here. And before the battery dies, it lowers the window a little bit, so when you use the little emergency key to open the door, it doesn't shatter the window. Guess what? It didn't lower the window in its last breath, and it shattered the window. Luckily, McLaren picked that up under warranty as well. But again, just like all these little electrical gremlins, if you have this problem, if your battery dies and your window breaks, you're going to have to pay for that. That sucks. So next thing you know, that car jumps a curb. Like the guy at the Sprint, you remember the video, I'll put it in the link below. But the guy was driving, he just didn't think the brake pedal was important and jumped over a curb and blew the wheels off the car. That totaled the car, and his insurance didn't cover it because it was in a parking lot and not on the road, so it wasn't. They didn't consider it a rental, and this guy wasn't worth going after. So we ended up having to eat that and repair the car because the cost of the suspension, the brakes, and the body was pretty much fine. There was like a couple of scratches. It was just that they broke the 3 wheels off that it was so expensive. What do? I go out and be like, all right, I'm looking at like $65,000 in parts here for wheels and suspension and brakes. How am I going to get this cheaper? Well, I found the carcass of a crashed car from another country that I was able to buy, ship over, and it didn't have an engine, didn't have like a transmission or anything like that, and it was hitting the front left, but mine was on the right side. So it had all the stuff I needed, so I bought that carcass, and I forget what I paid for, $25,000, and we sold it for 20 or something. So those parts that I needed, I got for $5,000, plus the labor of taking them off, putting them back on. So I was able to take 2 cars and turn it into 1 car, and it actually worked out pretty well. That was a bullet dodge, but I was without that car for 6 or 7 months while that process took place, if not a little bit longer. So that sucked. Next thing you know, I buy another McLaren, right? I buy the 12C, the Neiman Marcus edition, and I didn't make the same mistake as the previous time. I bought it 2,500 miles, something like negligible miles, like for a 2-year-old car or something. The miles were virtually non-existent, and it was a 330 something window sticker, and it depreciated all the way down to 172. That's what I paid for it. So I was sort of in the money on that one, in that whatever it was worth after that, and I think it was worth like 145 when we sold it, but it still went down because we sold it with like 10 or 12,000 miles on it. That's astonishing to me. So the depreciation on those cars, especially with miles and out of warranty, are no good. But speaking of out of warranty, that 12C, what happened? Well, I was driving it and I was like, whoa, what's wrong with the steering here? It's like an electric steering system, so you turn it and it just gets very notchy, and I was like, this is unsafe. We can't let this car go out like this. Next thing you know, I bring it to the dealer. Oh, your warranty expired 2 weeks ago. Sorry. I'm like, well, steering rack's bad. Like the steering pump chewed itself up, not because somebody steered too hard, just because it chewed itself up and threw metal shavings in the line. Chewed up the steering rack, and I found out when they gave me a $35,000 invoice or an estimate, that it shares the same lines as the brake system. So all of that had to be replaced, not the brakes and the calipers, but everything else had to be replaced. And $35,000 later, luckily, I was able to take that steering rack out, because I'm not having that, find other companies that manufacture these different parts, and get all the parts and rebuild what was in there cheaper. But that car is the last car you should consider purchasing ever, because out of warranty, that thing is a nightmare. New, it was a depreciation nightmare. Then it's slightly a maintenance nightmare because it's got those unpredictable things. It's different if there's a car that like predictably breaks. Like, all right, like the Porsches have the engine fires, but if you change this piece, you're all good. Like, that's good. It's predictability. It's the stuff that, like the electronic gremlins, that is the last thing you want to deal with. So when you think you see a cheap McLaren, run the other way. It is not worth it. It's somebody else's headache. You can easily spend more to fix that car and keep it running than it actually costs you to buy it, and that would be a very, very big mistake to purchase. That's just my warning. Like, if you own one, it's a great car. I'm not going to lie. It was a fun car to drive, but it is not something you want to own out of warranty, because it may bankrupt you.